And we're continuing coverage of a double murder trial that's lasted for weeks now. Testimony resumed today in the trial of Omonte Bell and Dyrell Green. They're charged in a deadly shooting at a home in Wilmington back in 2021. WCT's Ariana Bertolotti was in the courtroom for another day, where she learns why the prosecution says that text messages are key to their case.
More than half the day on Wednesday was focused on combing through the messages on Raquel Adams' phone, who was found guilty to be a co-conspirator to these murders last year. Now the prosecution is focusing on what was said on text messages on and around that night. An expert in digital forensics testified on Wednesday, sharing some of the texts from Adams' phone. Evidence shows Adams telling someone they're tracking Cordreese Tyson's movements, with the other person asking if Tyson was dead yet. To which Adams blames the defendant, Omonte Bell, for his poor driving skills. More texts include how Adams would spit in Tyson's casket and how he's excited for him to be buried. There is so much more to this testimony that the same witness is expected to take the stand Thursday morning to continue his testimony, where we'll look into the phones of Omonte Bell and Dyrell Green. Reporting outside the New Hanover County Courthouse, Ariana Bertolotti, WECT News.